Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Trani. I'm going to dive into today's Photoshop typography challenge. As you can see from the background, it's going to be me in typography and you, of course, all week long. So thank you so much for joining me. I want to welcome you in chat and feel free. If you see down below in the description, you'll see the starter file that I'm going to be using, as well as other fun links where you can share your work and find more challenges, all that good stuff. So I'm so happy that you are here, and yeah, if you could say hello in chat, that'd be fantastic, right? Just waiting for that to load up, but thank you so much for hanging out with me. And yeah, I see you there. Penny Doodles, Frank, Steve, what's up? Kiss My Creative, Sam's in the house, Garth as well. So I want to give you all a warm welcome. We're going to dive right into this because it's going to be a lot of fun, because what are we doing? We are dealing with elemental typography. So fire, water, earth, all that fun stuff, right? So really getting creative with type today is the plan. So hopefully that works for you. Jan, I see you there in chat as well. So cool. Here's the file that you'll get from the description. You can see right up here at the top, fire, water, and earth type. Create text effects inspired by fire, water, and earth. We will be using some render features in Photoshop, but also we're going to talk about some and actually do some really quick things that are going to give us some fast results, since we're trying to create sort of 3 different type looks. All right. All right, and I'm going to welcome you wherever you may be. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is your file, by the way. We can see off to the side. There is this info folder. You can just turn that off, or layer group as it's known. So we just turn that off because we know what we're doing. And then you can see sort of the different layers in here. So we have this fire, some text, some water. You get the idea. So some of this is set up. I'm here to make it easy on you. Right, life's hard enough as it is, isn't it? Don't you wish life gave you starter files? It's like, oh, I would love a starter file for life. You know, that'd be awfully nice. Okay, so the easiest thing you can do, and some of you might know this. If you don't, this is just so awesome. Because what I want to do is I actually want to put this fire layer, as you can see, I want it to only appear where the text is. Right? So how do we do that? In the past, we'd show creating some layer masks, but all we need to do is go over here and say, hey, we want to clip this image to this text layer. So I'm going to right click. Maybe I'll zoom out a little bit. And it's right here, create clipping mask. Right click on the layer, create clipping mask. Yes, your parents are your starter files for life. You're right. But I just wish sometimes life has starter files. So that was just a comment I was reading from Judith. Yeah, parents are awesome. And there it is. Look, it's actually inside of that text. So I can kind of move this around and we can get something really kind of cool. What we learned yesterday was Command T, or basically free transform is what it is. And we could sort of like rotate this and get this into place so it looks just kind of cool, right? We're trying to make something kind of cool, but there it is. Fire. We'll do something kind of like, maybe like that, right? Done. Michelle says, or actually Penny says, my life has many unnamed layers. That's right. I feel like that's your miscellaneous drawer is your unnamed layers for life. Okay, so we could do the same with all of these. We could have water on top. And this is your shortcut, right? Remember how I did a right click and I went out here to create clipping mask? What I can do is hold down the Option key or Alt key, and you are given this little arrow. So when you roll over these 2 layers and say, hey, I can go ahead and clip it for you, holding down the Option key or the Alt key on a PC, click right there. Sure enough, it clips it, and we can see water is right there. So I might want to do some different things. And this really is like, we're kind of mastering layers right now, but this is the quickest, easiest stuff you can do in here. Turn this on. We can do the same with earth, right? Right up here, Alt key or Option key, click, and there we have earth, okay? Let's go back to this one that says water, right? Let's talk about how layers interact really fast, because I can't quite see the word water. So maybe what I want to do is I could change the blend mode. So I'll just kind of roll down here. Not much is going to happen, by the way, but until we get down to say maybe, ooh, difference looks kind of cool, right? But just to show you what this does, I almost need a layer with color. So we're covering some layer basics today. Again, this is only my second day. So I'm going to go to this layer, this water layer. We're just going to change the color of this text in the properties panel. We'll just, change it to a nice blue. Okay. So I'm going to turn this on. And now I'm going to go over the different blend modes. See how it starts tinting that water color? In some cases, it removes all the black. So that's what screen does. So these top ones will keep the dark colors. This one will remove the dark colors right in here, sort of keeps the lighter pixels, and then you get some interesting looks down in here. So now you can kind of find the look that you want and pick whichever one you want. I'm going with difference. All right. Guess my creative says they need coffee. So do I on my second cup. Let's do this. Yes, I'm still drinking holiday flavors. They're not that old, don't get me wrong, but that's what I've been using. All right, so we've learned clipping masks, we learned blend modes, and we can create some cool stuff. Let's go beyond this. You guys ready for this? Yes, exactly. We could make a contour of fire with the render fire feature. Oh, Frank, that's what he says in chat. Frank knows what I'm doing. So yeah, exactly, and that's what I mean when I say in the description, like render features. That's what we can do. So again, we did the easy look. Now let's go ahead and see what we can do now. First thing we want to do is we can, to select the text or everything on this layer, you can hold down the Command key, click, and then it will select it. So I just have a selection of that text. So we need to create a selection. I'm even getting a step ahead of myself. And then we need to turn that into a path. Right? I might even do the shorter version of this one because I'm realizing even these steps might be a little complex. I'm just going to create a new layer. I'm going to grab the either the pen tool or the freeform pen tool, right? Either one, but here's just a simple line. Okay, so this is a path. So let's, oh, hold on. Let's get rid of that. I want to make a flame along a path, right? So let's just do this. Let's go select a vector tool. In this case, it's the freeform pen tool, and then select path. So that's what I'm going to draw. And I can sort of click and drag since it's the freeform pen tool. That's what we get. We get this lovely line. And then from there, I'm on a brand new layer. I can go to Filter, Render, and right in here. These are the sort of render elements or procedural, I don't know what you want to call them. It's generative artwork, right? So we'll go to Flame. Sure enough, here's our lovely flame. This is so nice. Right? I'm going to go back to default because this is what yours should look like. Have this nice default where this flame, of course, has a certain length that I can make longer, and you can kind of control all the different parameters right in here to get the look that you want, right? I usually want to go beyond this because I think from the flame types, it gets even more interesting. So we can do one flame along a path. I think this is really cool. And again, increase the width, decrease the width, and we just get this nice look, okay? So that's what I want to go with. Click OK, and there's my flame. Now, what's happening behind in the background, you may ask? And if you're joining me over on YouTube, I want to say hello to you. To you too. All right. So let's go to Window. Let's go down to Paths. So here's our little work path that was created. So we need this little path. We need a vector path in order to put this flame along that path. So that's what's going on in there. So we'll just keep this out here because we're going to need this again. And again, I can turn this on, and then I can always move this somewhere else and create something interesting. Now we're going to take it to the next level. Is it a Photoshop 23 feature? Ooh, PJ asks in chat. No, this has been in Photoshop for a while, but you know, it's finding a good, this is the sort of thing you keep in the back of your brain. You're like, oh, I could use this someday, right? So that's what you want to do. You know, it's not every day that you need flames or trees, but they are there when you're ready for them. All right, we're going to take this a step further, which Frank mentions in chat. We're going to go down to this text. And this is where I'm going to command click on that text. We create this selection, okay? Because I'm like, oh, I would love to stroke these letters with a flame. That would be so cool. How do we do that? Yes, we could take the pen tool and outline this text, right? But I'm lazy, and this is all about shortcuts. Like, laziness is the mother of invention. I don't even know if that's the quote, but it should be. Right, so we'll go on a new layer, by the way. I have that layer selected, by the way, everything on it by command clicking. There's my selection. Now I can go to this paths panel. I'm like, oh, I got to turn this selection into a path and then give it flames. So right down here, make work path from selection. Boom, there it is. So I don't have to outline that or anything, right? We will zoom out. There's our lovely path, our work path. Right over here, we're on a new layer. So this is still going to be our fire layer, right? And now we'll go to the same feature, filter, render, flame. Okay, so you will sometimes get this warning. Not a big deal. It just says, hey, man, we're rendering this. Well, the preview is only going to show about 3,000 pixels, but boom, there it is. We could see the fire. Remember, this is one flame along a path. Your default, if you come in here, it's going to look like this. It will, again, it's only rendering out the first 3,000 pixels. It will still fill this in, so don't let that throw you. And I could say, that looks okay. You know, maybe I need to actually, let's go to basic. Let's take down the length, for instance, and the width so it's easier to read. That's one thing we can do. Or just go to one flame along a path, which I, again, love. So let's turn down the width. Let's get into some of the advanced features. And I'm just taking down some of these settings. Ooh, the flame bottom alignment seems to sort of give me this look of fire. And again, I'm still trying to make it legible as well. Oh, there we go. Increase the complexity, and you can kind of see fire in there. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's adjust the width. And again, a lot of times it's going to be just playing with these parameters, right? So there we go. What else? What else? What else? Oh, the complexity of the lines. So here it's just a matter of making sure it says fire without distorting it too much. Let's go with something like that. Click OK and done. Okay, cool. You guys get it? There we go. We have it. And then you'll have this situation. Oh, these lines are so annoying because they're still there. You could just click off. You could always save this path if you want to, because you could always mess with it later. So actually from this flyout menu, save path, and this will be called fire. Right there it is. So we could have our fire path. We could have our water path. We could have a tree path, stuff like that. There we are. All right, so yeah, I mean, not bad. Not so bad. Let's do something else. We did Earth up here. Maybe we'll go a little bit simpler with Earth, because maybe I do want some trees growing up out of this. So I could still go through that same process of selecting, turning that into a path and all that stuff. But what I actually want to do in this case, I'm just going to create a new layer. I'm going to grab the pen tool. I'm drawing with the path, and in this case, I just want to do sort of point, pen tool. We'll do like point, 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 Sure, we'll come clear down here. I'll just kind of like outline this a little bit because I want to put sort of branches and trees and, you know, kind of coming out of the top part of this text, right? And this is still going to take some playing with, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to get crazy is what's going to happen. Yeah, so PJ, yes. The work path will go away, like PJ mentions in chat. Always save the path, give it a name, or it will go away if you try to create another one. Because the working path is like your current path, almost like a current selection. All right, so here we have this sort of shape. I just like to make sure everything is selected, by the way. So here's my path. We'll go into filter. We'll go down to render. And now in this case, picture frame, sure. Never use this ever. I've never used this. If you guys use this, I would love to hear in chat. That'd be awesome. But we're gonna go to tree, click. Guess what? We also get these lovely presets. Let's just change this back to default. This is what yours might look like. Look at this, so crazy. It's an oak tree. That's a pretty intense oak tree, right? I could adjust the branch height if I want to, which is making it smaller, or the thickness, or the leaf size, so we're really like able to see some more of that text. Or what we could do is we go in and pick a different tree. I like the young robina. The young robina is pretty nice because again, it's not going to be as thick as like an oak tree, right? What else we got? Bamboo, palm tree, right? You could see what's happening here with some of this. So just have fun. A young maple tree might work. Pine tree. I kind of like the pine tree. Pine tree? Did I just say pine tree? I think I did. And yeah, this is where you're going to spend most of your time, just kind of going through here, picking a tree that will work. Anyways, let's just go ahead and go with this one. Shall we? Oh, ginkgo also look nice. Cool, cool. These are going to be a lot of branches, but that's okay. We'll click, it renders it, right? And again, once we like deselect it, so it won't go away until I make another path, but now we have these sort of trees kind of growing up out of the earth, right? So, but based on that, I can go ahead and save the, ooh, cancel. Save this path, we'll call it earth. Just add a new layer and then try another tree as we kind of go on down the line. All right. Ooh, foliage plant. Oh, that's interesting that it's closing the loop. So it's closing that point right there. Otherwise, I kind of like it. Stylized tree. All right, you get the idea. Young Robina is usually my go-to. Oh, here we go. Branch height. Take that down. There we go. Let's go with it. Click OK. Boom. Another one. Done. You get the idea. Right? Easy enough. Earth. We have it done. By the way, it's only going to do it the size of the canvas. So if I move this down, see, I just have to be aware that it's not going to sort of make these leaves or paste them or create them off of the artboard or the document size. So keep that in mind. But I'd say that looks good. I could take all of this, I can put it in a layer group. So right click, group from layers, earth. Oh, I got one more to do. My water. And then we have fire. So I'm going to do this water one really fast. This is going to be fun. Okay, you ready for this? right? We've done procedural stuff, which is just the rendering of branches and flames. Let's do water in here, right? I'm going to double click. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to just throw a gradient overlay over this, right? And it's just going to be a nice sort of neutral, lighter to a little darker. I'm going to add as many grays to this as possible, and then we're going to sort of chromize it, and it's going to start to look like water. So gradient overlay, fantastic. Go into bevel and emboss, right? Play with this. We can increase or decrease the size. But I'm adding all these various levels of gray kind of around these letters. It's should look pretty good. Just playing with it, kind of like that. There we are. We'll click OK. You ready for this? We're having fun. 5 minutes left. Thank you so much for that time check, Annika, in chat there. Let's go down to filter, and ready for this. Rather than going to render, which we've been doing, we'll go into filter gallery. It's going to ask me to convert it to a smart object, which we actually made yesterday. You can always check out that recording. But it made this a smart object so I can apply these various filters to it. And what I'm looking for is chrome, okay? And also plastic wrap is great. But you'll kind of click through some of these. You're like, where the heck is chrome? I could never find it. A pro tip is right over here. There's this drop down, which is the same as all of these lovely little thumbnails. So you could just go in here and like, okay, where is chrome? Right up here. Click. And then it opens it up for you. Oh, it's down right here. Selects it for you. And this is that chrome look that starts to make it look more like water, I think, right? So you can add as many of these as you want. You can come down here, click again, add 2 chromes, maybe with different levels of detail to get it really crazy. But look at how it's starting to look like water, which is super cool. And then click OK. Bam, there's your water. Okay, I got a question in chat. Can we liquefy water? Well, water is a liquid. We better be able to. So let's go to filter. We'll go to liquify. We covered this yesterday, so check out that in chat. We'll shrink down this brush, and we're going to start pushing this stuff around. So that's what I do. This is a good opportunity to do like a pucker and bloat. So right down here, we can just go like that. We could have it drip. Like we could pull this down. Pull this up, right? You get the idea. We're just having fun with water. But great idea, and thank you for that this idea in chat. Love it. Right? We can pinch it. So let's do the pucker and bloat. We'll pinch it right here by holding the Option key, and then we'll bloat it right there. Pinch it like that. Bloat it right there, and we're just having fun. Thank you so much for joining me today, by the way. I think this is a lot of fun doing this craziness. And I love the power of Photoshop. And one of the reasons we're doing Type this week is that it is part of, we know the 36 Days of Type is going on now. So 36daysoftype.com. Check that out. Here's your water. And then remember, here's your little splash. So we also have this little splash. I would just shrink this down and place this splash somewhere like, you know, like right there, and play with it, right? Enough time to make air. Yeah, I like that comment. So again, we can go into blend modes. We did this earlier, but we could start to remove some of the white, at least, yeah, like hard light. It's kind of like adding contrast to it, but I usually just kind of scroll down here and just like see what I get. I'm not getting a whole lot since there's no color behind it, but it again adds some contrast there. Cool, we did it. Let's group it. What's the shortcut for group? Command G. There we go. So now we have fire. Come on, Paul, lift. There we go. Fire, water, and then earth. Like so. Cool. Fire's a little hard to read. That's okay. You get the idea. Cool. Cool. So what are our key takeaways? Clipping masks. We did some clipping masks over here, and then we learned how to draw a path and then use the render features to get these unique branches and flames, which is super cool. Then we took it to the next level and really got into some of these filters in Filter Gallery. Chrome and then there's plastic wrap are going to give you sort of that water look, just so you know. But that's just a quick recap. You guys get the idea. Not only am I on time, I'm a little bit early. And we did a lot. We did like 3 exercises in one day, which is so impressive, you know, especially considering that it's only day 2. So feel free to just go to File, Export as, right, a JPEG. We can see it right here. Put that on your desktop and, of course, post it. The links are all in the description, by the way, so that's where you could share your work, find more challenges, join us, of course, all this week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this lovely Tuesday. Hopefully you enjoy the, you know, the act of creation, right? It gives you, hopefully it doesn't give you too much of a God complex. But I appreciate you out there. Thanks so much for hanging with me, and I'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate you guys so much. Will you see you at the same time tomorrow? Thanks so much.